What's up, Beat Bays? I'm back with a long-awaited tutorial. I know I've been gone for so long, but I'm back now, so don't stress, don't worry. Let's get into it in a hurry. I'm starting off by prepping the skin. I think at this point in time, I was just putting some primer on and making sure to really get into her T-zone. And then I went ahead and went in with the foundation. Lately, I've been applying foundation directly on the brush. Y'all switch up my technique like every 2 or 3 months. I don't know why. I just try whatever to see if I like it, and then I'll switch back to whatever I normally do. But at this point in time, I am applying my foundation with the brush, so I will just pat that in all over her face until it's blended to my liking. After I finish blending with the brush, I do go over it with a wet beauty blender, or damp, I should say. Don't apply it with all the water in it, please. The goal here is to make sure that I have a clean, flat base and that all of the product is distributed evenly. And now I'm going in with the concealer, again, directly on the brush. New technique. I don't know where it picked it up at, but I'm just tapping it in the areas in her T-zone and then kind of blending it out at the same time. But I do go back to blend some more, so I started just applying and then leaving it. I did go in to apply some additional concealer under her eye. This is the same color, but I just do it to make sure that I have really full coverage under the eye so that it's really bright. Also making sure to blend that concealer on the sides of the nose because that is a part of your contouring of the nose. So if you're really trying to create a bridge, you do want to make sure you highlight the sides of the nose as well to kind of bring out that contour. So right now we're going to tap in. We are tapping in all of that concealer to blend it out. And I'm really just making sure to hit under the eye last because I want to make sure that can dry down a bit so I can have the greatest coverage possible. And then I'm just kind of blurring out the rest of the lines on the face. I'm going back in with the foundation brush to make sure that I blend the edges of the concealer that I just put down. This is to make sure that everything blends seamlessly and you can't see any harsh lines. Going back under the eyes just to make sure I've blended that part out, added a little bit more concealer. I really don't know why I was putting so much down this day, but the look came out flawless. I have really gotten into using cream blush. I don't know what it is, but it's actually really beautiful. So normally I will blend out cream blush first before I blend out the concealer. That way it can kind of layer over each other and blend seamlessly. But I think this day I kind of forgot and did the steps in reverse. But it's all right because I'm still going to make sure that it blends. But so this is cream blush that I'm putting down. And I believe this is ColourPop. I don't know the color. I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. And this is me blending the concealer over the blush. So you can see how it it melts into the blush much better than it did on the other side before that side was blended. So if you are using cream blush, please be sure to layer it and make sure that you blend your concealer under your eye over the blush, so that it's not just so harsh. Again, I went over the face with the foundation brush just to make sure everything was seamless, and now I'm going in with the puff and the setting powder. So I am just taking a little bit of setting powder on this puff and pressing it into all of the areas that have wet makeup on it. So right now I'm focusing on the concealer and then the liquid blush that I put down. I'm also going to make sure to set all of the other areas of her T-zone, and then I believe I end up letting a little bit bake under her eye and on her nose. Okay, so what I'm doing now is going in with some Fenty bronzer, and lately bronzer has just been my life. It's something so subtle about it that makes it so beautiful for soft glam. So I'm really into it, and my go-to right now is Fenty. That Fenty bronzer is gold. So I believe this is Mocha Mami on her. And I'm just applying that to all of the areas where I would contour. So I'm warming up her face some before I put, actual contour down, just to kind of help it transition better and keep it really soft. I'm using bronzer down the nose too for contour as well. So literally everywhere that I would typically contour, I'm putting bronzer down first. And I'm gonna be honest, I most of the time I've been leaving the bronzer as the nose contour, so I haven't been adding a harsher or dark color. We'll see. I don't know if I did that or not in this video. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. This was filmed so long ago, and I just came back to edit it, so my apologies. But like I said, I have been liking a more subtle look lately, so this might be one of those instances where I only contoured with bronzer on the nose. And that trick is my favorite when you are contouring and then leaving like setting powder. Just taking your two fingers to kind of outline the bridge of the nose and drag it down really helps to make sure the right parts are baking and that the right parts are left to contour the nose, if that makes sense. And I am now taking a darker color, or deeper color, I should say, on the contour. I think this is one of the colors out of the Black Radiance palette, one of the darker browns. But I'm literally just going right under or over where I put the bronzer. And I think it was just on her jawline. And then I'm going back in with the Beauty Blender this time just to make everything melt. And you guys know that I like to reverse contour, so I'm taking the puff with a little bit of setting powder and going right under her cheekbones with that, just to carve them out. Ooh, this video is going fast. I had to take a deep breath. So right now I'm just brushing out her brows before I go under them with concealer. This is a trick that I learned from another MUA whose classes I took. You want to carve out the brow before you fill them in. I I really don't know the purpose of it, but I do know that I like this better, that the brows come out much softer and cleaner whenever I carve them before. Or I should say they look more natural. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just carving out the bottom of the brow with concealer and then dragging that down to act as the base for her eyeshadow. So after blending out the concealer, I do set the brow or under the brow area with some setting powder. To me, this just helps transition, and then it helps to make sure that my eyebrow has a dry base and a set base for me to draw on. We are now going in to start doing her eyeshadow, and I believe that as a transition color, I just either put down the bronzer color or the color that was in that Black Radiance palette that I used for contour. Now going in with a darker color in her inner corner and then her outer corner, and kind of dragging it across. So with this one, Lord, I forgot the terminology. Y'all, please excuse my brain today, but this is where we're gonna create that effect where it goes from dark to light, and the lightest is in the middle, the darkest is in the outer parts of the eye. So it really creates this really pretty mirror effect. But I will let you guys see it. So right here, I'm putting down like a little bit of a darker pink. You can't really see it, but this is an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. These colors are kind of shimmery, so it really does create a beautiful effect. I put a lighter shimmery pink in the middle of that, and then you're gonna see me go back to blend it all together. One tip here, because I know you see how it's different now, the way that it's showing up. I did spray my brush with setting spray, and that makes all the difference if you're using shimmery colors. So if you really want it to show up vibrant, and you really want that effect where it's kind of glowy, just spray it with the setting spray first before you dip into the eyeshadow. So now I'm taking Inglot gelled liner in the black color on a disposable eyeliner brush, and I am just creating a slight line on her lash line. mean, you gotta love that black. Like, that black is black. It's really clean and pretty. And I'm now taking some in her lower lash line as well. And to level out her under eye, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of smoke out that liner with a brown. So just making sure that we have balance on the top and the bottom. Okay, now I'm taking my foundation brush again and just tapping in all of the remaining powder that's on her face, and also just making sure that everything is blending seamlessly. I'm going in as well with some powder blush, so to go over the cream blush. This is one of the Juvia's Place blush palettes, and I always mix the two colors. One is like a berry and the other is like a coral. Now I'm going back to filling her brows, and you know what? I think I know why this helps. It's because when you see the entire eye, I feel like it'll help you see better what really needs to be done with the brow. When you've got a lot going on with the eye, I think we can sometimes tend to go very bold with the brows, and sometimes it's not a need for that. So I'm gonna stick with that and say that it helps me in that aspect to do it after. So I'm really just going in now with my pencil to just fill in any areas that look sparse, and then to make sure that the tail is cleaned up. Now, I know a lot of people do brows first, and I did too, just to make sure that, everything could be cleaned up. Brows does take a long time and takes a lot of work to get your technique pinned down, but you can still clean up after this later with your concealer. I wouldn't use a whole lot, but you can still clean up. I've still had to do that on like the top of my brows at times, so anything is fixable. Now going in with some mascara on her bottom lashes. Trying to be really careful, but I'm gonna be honest, this is always like a struggle part for me, because somehow I always tend to get it on like the under eye part, and I always have to go back and clean up with concealer. So there's my struggle confession of the day. You already know what time it is. Don't play with that lash, girl. Just go ahead and put that lash glue on the lid and stick them lashes on it, girl. You ain't got time. You ain't got time. Boom, and she's almost finished. So at this point in time, we're going in again with a foundation brush. I think I've counted like 3 or 4 times that I've done that. So as you can see, I'm really trying to make sure everything is meshing. Okay, I want everything to be one. highlight is not lost on me. It's not lost on me. I'm going in right now with a little bit of highlight on the tip of my finger and putting it on the tip of her nose and the bridge of her nose as well. And I believe this is from MAC. MAC has really, really beautiful highlight. I did stop putting the highlight on the cheekbones. I don't know why. Again, I switch everything up every 3 or 4 months, so it'll probably come back. I just have not been doing that lately. I've been liking just a clean, flat look on the cheeks. I'm going in to line her lips, and since I'm a dark skin queen as well, this is what I do on myself. I outline my lips in black first, and then I go over it with a brown pencil just to kind of make it darker. I think a lot of times, if you have darker skin, you might forget to create that contrast for your lips, so everything just ends up meshing together, and I don't really like that. So I always use black first and then layer with brown, and then of course I add some pink to the lips and blend everything out, and then I'll put gloss over it as well. Okay, this is rude. I'm sorry. You could just see my scarf and bonnet, but the scarf is pretty. I mean, I do spend a lot of time on the lip, and sometimes I hate that I do that because it does end up taking time that I don't realize is passing, but I really do love a nice blended lip. Okay, the girl, she finally moves away from the lips. Praise God. Okay, so I am setting her first with a Morphe Continuous Misting Spray. That is my favorite. And then next, I'm going up with Urban Decay. I will never do without it. I will never, ever do without it. That's the all-nighter, by the way. And then after I spray both of them, I'm just going to make sure she's dried down by using this little beauty fan. And then I'm ripping the cape off, and she looks so beautiful. Baby, that's what we like to see, okay? She's in her camera immediately. That's what makes me feel good. Thank y'all again for joining me, and I got more videos to come. Sorry for the wait. Bye. See y'all next time.